Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Dental Times Plus Spotlight feature interview series. I'm your host, Brad, the founder and chief buzz officer at Dentainment and the creator of this app, Dental Times. And we have Konni Forster today, a dear friend and special guest. Hey Konni, how are you?
Hey, Brad, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to see you. Why don't you tell our audience? I look at you as the premier expert for dental assisting schools in the world. If there's any question I have about starting a dental assisting school, marketing a dental assisting school, regulations, legalities, state to state, you're my answer. You're the one who I say, talk to Konni, talk to Konni. What would be your title and what do you do?
What's my title? Well, it would be owner of OC Dental Academy, but I just sold it. So now I'm a consultant for dental assisting schools. So I guess my title is Konni Forster.
I love it. Konni
I think,
Forster, president of Dental Assisting School Consulting.
yes, that's my
That's your new
title.
title.
That's my new title.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I don't even think you need a title. It's Konni.
Yeah.
Like Prince, right? There's Madonna. You got one name, and of course I know. I love it. Let's just go with Konni.
You know what? That's a great idea. Konni, just
Yeah.
Konni. It's spelled different. Then yeah, it's just call Konni. Call Konni. I will help you set up a school. I know everything there is to know about it.
I think your new website should be Konni.dental.
Okay.
Konni
Konni.
Dental.
Konni.dental. Konni.dental.
Or depending on how much you sold OC Dental Academy for, it could just be Konni.com if you want to go buy that.
Let's just do Konni.com. Let's do Konni.com. That's it. You just call me. I will help you. I would love to help you.
You were the best. So now that we got the title out of the way,
Yes,
I want to get your insights on the dental assisting school. So basically, for anyone watching or listening right now, perhaps you're considering implementing a dental assisting school at your office. Whether it's on the weekends, the evenings, it's a great opportunity for additional revenue streams. Also to have great team members kind of coming through the ranks if you need more dental assistance moving forward. But in your definition, Konni, like what is a dental assisting school? What would be your definition?
Well, it's a school that's going to train dental assistants. So that's pretty much plain, but there are a couple ways you can get into dentistry. It's a really, really technical, Brad. This is beyond you, but it's really just training dental assistants. And there's a short-term school and there's a long-term school out there nowadays. So short-term meaning it's 10 to 12 weeks, 10 to 13 weeks.
Okay.
Long-term is like 10 months, a year.
10 months. Well, how is it such a gap? What's the difference in curriculum and obviously like
that's a good question because I get that a lot. Like because people that are doing research, they're going, like I say this 10 weeks, I see this, we have $20,000 and you're $4,000 or $3,500 or whatever. Why? And this takes so long. Am I going to? Who wants to hire me better? The answer I give them is that it's just boils down to the information. Like a long-term school would be, say we're teaching about anatomy, tooth anatomy. Okay, long-term, they're going to take weeks studying about all the names of the bones, the muscles, and they're really long names. Like they have to memorize all these. There's like a lot of bones in the face, and all this anatomy of the head and neck. And they'll take a lot of time understanding that and learning and training about that. That's great knowledge to have, but you'll never use it in your, like, I've never had to, like, what is the muscle again? In my whole career, I've never had to recall that information. So I take all that stuff out.
That's how I feel about 98% of my education that I went through.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. I mean, it's not like it's bad information. It's good. It gives you a very deep understanding
It's
of where
not
the
practical
next.
in our daily lives or the daily routines of a dental assistant, basically. I think the 10-week program will be ideal for probably 80% of students who want to get into the industry, right?
I'm going to say 100% it's practical for
Wow.
them because they don't need that information probably ever. But unless you're going to go into dental school, then it's good. You will have to learn that in dental school or hygiene school. But to get your, you know, what we do focus on is the anatomy of the tooth. They have to know the enamel, dentin, pulp, the periodontal ligament or surrounding it. But do they really need to know the name of the muscle in your whatever muscle? No, they don't. They won't need that. So we take it out right now just to start you in the entry, getting in, and we teach you more things about dental assisting and what you will need day one. And then maybe at the end, okay, now I want to be a RDA. Now go back and learn those bigger terms that you
Gotcha.
need. So that's kind of how I set it up.
Awesome. No, I love that. Thanks for explaining that. So let's say there's an office, a single location in Iowa or pick a random state listening right now.
Right.
And they're like, you know what? We've been actually on the fence considering starting our own dental assisting school. What
Yeah.
does that process look like and how long until they decide to do it until they actually start their first class and someone's sitting either virtually or at their office taking a lecture?
I would say if you are in that position, you want to start looking at your own office and is it big enough or do you have the equipment enough? Well, obviously you have the equipment because you have operatories, but look at your front office. That's going to be your lecture room. Do I have technology? Most offices have technology. They have a TV. That's really all you need in there. Um, but look at the space. Most offices that are considering this are probably bigger. Well, I don't know. It's been everywhere. 4 people to fit in there, 6 people, that's going to be your lecture room. Then you look at your operatories. Do I have my equipment? Is it broken or is it not broken? Get it all fixed. And then look and see if you are compliant with your state regulations. Each state's different. So, but mostly in, your infection control programs, do you
So
have
will you help
everything?
the office make sure they're compliant? Do you help?
Yeah.
And do
Yeah.
you help with the equipment checks and all that, or that has to be someone?
No, I would for sure because I would know what they have to teach. I would help them to make
Okay.
sure they know what they're doing already.
Yeah, of course.
But
Yeah.
just make sure is your evacuation, does this saliva ejector work? Is it not? Or, there's
Yeah.
some things that people just, offices live with. I'll get to that someday. But if you're
Sure.
going to run a school, you really want to have it up and compliant, especially for infection control nowadays.
So it varies. It could be a few weeks or a few months until someone gets this going.
Well, I would say a month
Within a
and
month.
or 2 months depends.
Okay.
They can start with even one patient. I'm one patient, one student.
Right. But and then who? Let's say they're like, we're doing a dental assisting school. We're
Yeah,
gonna do this on Saturdays. Every Saturday, we want to start in a couple months. Who's teaching that class?
the ideal person would be one of their own employees that wants an advancement. I want to do something more. That is ideal in a dental office situation because they're used to the equipment. The doctor trusts them. They I think that's the ideal, but not necessarily every person that's a great dental assistant is a good instructor. Kind of running into that. I've run into that problem in the past thinking, oh, this person has 20 years experience. They're wonderful assistants and they make the students cry like because
Well,
they're intimidated.
it's a different vocation. I mean, it's difficult. Like, and then a
You're right.
teacher would have a difficulty doing dental assisting. Like, we all have our skills, and that's
You're,
why it's a little. I don't know. Like, it's a hard thing. Like, a lot of offices, would there even be an existing team member there to do it? Right? You know what I mean? So, but if
right.
that's not an option, one up the doctor listings like we don't have a team member who's interested. And by the way, we're starting the school because we want more people coming through because we need to replace the team eventually. Is there an option for like you to teach virtually, to hire someone local? Like, what are the other options if literally the office doesn't have the bandwidth? Because I know a lot of offices now that barely have enough staff for clinical, much less somebody who's
Right.
going to come in on the weekend to start teaching classes.
Yeah, yes. So you can do a virtual as far as the lectures and then have maybe people do the clinical part of it. That's an option. Recently, uh, I found this wonderful instructor, and she's going to be moving to Idaho. And so that, but we're going to bring in a lot of people to, like other trainers, and they really need to be trained. So we've decided she's going to train the instructors on
Got it.
how to teach and what we want. So that may be an option for somebody if they find someone that's, I mean, maybe not even in the field. We've hired, these were all, also another thing, well, I'm getting, but they wouldn't starting out be able to do
Yeah.
this, but people that have gone through the class,
Right.
they're wanting to be instructors, and their background was, I was a biology teacher and at high school, and
Right.
now she's done 2 years dental assisting. So she's a good option.
That's
So
great. So it could be, you have to have a creative mindset and figure out who's going to teach. Okay. Let's say they
right,
have the teacher in place. Okay.
right.
And they're ready to start marketing the class, right? Do you find most offices would maybe implement a dental school because they want to monetize it and make more money? Is it like, can it be considerable money, or are they doing it basically to have more opportunity for it's like a minor league team, if you will, to have a deeper bench, so they have more team members coming through the ranks? Like, what do you find the biggest reason is? I'm guessing it's cash, but I'm curious, it might be something else.
Well, you're right. You hit on all the things that they're thinking about. It could be cash, but not necessarily. Most people that want to get into this want to um, give well, all the things that you said, like you said, pull from like the major league team, like you said, like they could, how does baseball do it? Don't they have like the major league, and then they have someone down here and
Yeah.
oh, this guy's good, bring him
Like
up.
they go to the farm team, minor leagues. Hockey does
Yeah.
it. All professional sports leagues have it, which is awesome. And the key is, most teams that win championships usually have the best minor league teams also. Like, it's very common for both the minor league team and the major league team to like be either win the bowl championships or like be studs.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is, because it's not like especially, I know hockey really well, so it's not like
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup champion. Like, all the guys on that team were amazing, and the minor league was a bunch of benders. Like, it's a culture, it's draft picks, it's good management. And so, same thing, correlation with businesses and dental practices. You got a great team in the office. I like the idea. Ideally, I like the idea of the team members, A's training A's, right? And so then because every office is different, right? So if they hear it from an instructor, and so they get comfortable at the office, they go, oh no, our doctor likes it this way. It's very particular, right? And so ideally, I think it would be great to have studly team members train the dental assisting students. I think that would be like top choice.
That is top choice. That's exactly what works. It works when it's like that. It works. And if you can I'm sure the people that have other dental, like there's doctors nowadays that are buying the dental assisting school, and then they implement it. And I'm sure they pull from the people that are there, and that works great for them. And it, like right now, I have to teach generic, like just an overview of it, not specific to a dental office or specific to a doctor and their protocols. But it's ideal if you have a list of their protocols, and then you can teach. They can go anywhere, especially like a corporate dentistry where they have multiple locations, but they're all kind of set up the same.
Yeah.
That would be ideal, because then they can train them for their specific protocols. If they came from your own school, they're going to know this, and this. So it really eliminates that additional training. Someone coming out of my school goes to a new dental office. They have to learn their specific protocols. We train them how to train themselves, because usually they don't have the resources to train. So instead of sitting in a corner, this is what you can do. But
I love that. And then, are there different rules and regulations from Idaho to Iowa? Like
Oh,
each like there's like different curriculum, I assume, right?
yeah. Well, regulations, not necessarily
Regulations.
curriculum, but
Okay.
any dental assistant in the United States, there's no law that you have to go to dental assisting school. So I try to make that clear with every student that I talk to. You don't have to go to dental assisting school, like to get a license. A lot of people think that, but there's no,
But do you
but
need a license?
not to dental assistant.
So why would they? Yeah. Yeah, but
But you're only
they
limited.
need some training, obviously.
That's the key. That they need some training. They need to understand teeth 1 through 32. They don't even know, they wouldn't know that. They
Right.
wouldn't know, the
But there's a lot
protocols.
of
So
things. Yeah.
yeah, they would know. So that's a benefit for them to go, but legally they can go in practice. They're limited to do maybe 25 things, but then each state tells them what they can do. So it
Wow.
is based on state to state. So like in California, there's lots of regulations in California. You have to have 4 certificates before you can work in the back office. A lot of doctors don't even know that. And if you go to Oregon or you go to Iowa, well, I don't know Iowa's regulations, but each state comes up with their own.
So, but with your consulting, do you help an office who's interested in starting a school go through all those regulations and the paperwork and get certified and all that, which each state?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So that's part of
Yeah.
your service.
Yes, because I know where to go, where to find it, how to look it up, it's the information's out there on the internet, no problem. But to
Well,
find
if
it
it's
and
on the
figure out
internet,
what,
you definitely got to believe it.
like, well, this is put out by the Dental Assisting National Board, and it's the list. So
Oh,
we can
there's a national board.
yeah, there's a national board. So
Okay, great.
if your state does not, if the dental board does not regulate the dental assistants, and they don't really have anybody because maybe resources or they don't care that much, then they go through the standards of the national board.
Gotcha. Is there
So
any
I can
like
help for
yeah,
sure guide them on what they need to
yeah.
have and not have.
I'm sure you did that in Orange County, which I know you did because I think I connected you with some offices, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's an opportunity for some type of like job placement after. So if someone goes through one of these dental assisting schools, they're more qualified. They have 10 weeks experience and they a little more confidence when they get to the office what to do. And so that would be very valuable for an office who doesn't want to deal with the learning curve and a 10-week delay. Like I personally would rather hire someone who's at 10 weeks training. Clearly there's going to be some things to learn, right? But
Yes.
is there anything out there now? I know there's some great job posting sites out there, but anything specifically for dental assistants, or it just runs the gamut? It's more dental post, Craigslist, Indeed, stuff like that.
Yeah, Craigslist indeed, but really it's such a, well, at least in California, but I'm pretty sure dental assisting schools around the country are getting the same feedback because of the job market. But I'm probably having people call me every day at least now. Dental offices looking for good people. They want a personal recommendation versus they feel more comfortable with that. If I recommend somebody and say, this person was outstanding, they really paid attention, they were so enthusiastic, they have all the characteristics that you're looking for. First, I have to interview the dental office to make sure that they would be a good fit. Sometimes they're not, but
Yeah.
because maybe they're looking for some, oh, you want a registered dental assistant, you don't want an entry level. Because anyway, I kind of help them with that. So much job opportunity, and for these people getting into it, it's increasing, I would say, over the last 5 years. And now after COVID, it's just been crazy.
What about
We have 20 offices looking right now.
20? And then what about cost pricing? Like how much should offices charge for a student to take a 10-week dental assisting course? And how many students on average are you seeing at these, and kind of revenue wise, if they do this X amount of times a year, what could it be in terms of revenue? There's not much expenses. They got the office paid for, they got the supplies. Clearly they have to pay the team member to be there, but what type of costs, revenues, and profitability are you seeing?
I would say it depends on how much, obviously, how much you put into it. if you see one student, if you see 10,
Yeah.
but depending on what your office will allow, 10 students per term. If you want to do night classes, you want to do Saturday, you want to do Sunday.
What do you prefer? What do you recommend by the what has a greater turnout, nights or weekends?
Totally Saturdays 9 to 3, not 9 to 5, because their eyes start going, oh, I can't understand all this
9 to 3.
information.
So Saturday 9 to 3.
Saturday 9 to 3.
You take an hour lunch.
An hour lunch. So, and then just one day a week. But then if you get too busy, you can do night classes.
And by the way, these people who take these courses, they're going to probably have a job at that office when they're done.
Right. That's what's appealing about Saturday. Sunday, not so much, although there's some people that are interested in doing Sunday, but you could open up a class for Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, but Saturday works the best based on, I mean, I was told this when I bought it back in 2004 from the person I bought. He set up the dental assisting school, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to try everything. But no, it'll really always.
No, Copy Genius. Yeah, Copy. We have events, on a side note, we have events now for like our clients with like in-office seminars and dental implants, sleep apnea. Saturday works the best. They've been experimenting with Thursdays for lunch and the evenings. Yeah. Always Saturday is the best turnout.
It is.
For them, it's it's an interesting thing. So okay, I love this. 9 to 3 on Saturdays. So let's say 10 students for one of these courses, 10 weeks. Hypothetically, they could do 3 or 4 of these a year, right? If I'm not,
or 5.
Well, 5 would be too much because then you gotta do back to back. You do 5, so basically 2 weeks a year. You don't have it going during the holidays.
Right? How'd you figure that out so fast?
Well, 52
You're
weeks
so smart.
So 5 times 10. This is like max numbers, okay, Connie? So 5 courses for the year, maxed out at 10 students.
Okay. That's 50 students.
50 students. Phew. Okay. Now, how much does each student pay on average?
Depending. I'm going to say, we charge $3,400, but $2,500 were maxed out because we're not registered with the Bureau of Post-Secondary Vocational Education. So we only can charge for the dental assisting portion $2,500 unless we become approved, which I was approved.
So less expenses, we're talking $100,000 plus high end tops.
Oh, 150 to 350.
How do you make $350,000 if you're charging? We're maxed out at 50 students right now.
Because there's other courses too. Because if you give the other course like X-ray certification, some people just need their X-ray certification. 8-hour infection.
Who would give those, and where do you fit that in during 50 weeks?
Well, that would be on the side, like that would be like a Tuesday class or a
sure. Okay.
Night class or
I
see Sunday.
You're moving the goalpost on me now, Connie.
Okay. Hey, I didn't know.
You want to throw in some other classes and not tell me? We could be at $1 million here in a minute if you want.
Well, you can be $1 million. Yeah,
you want to. By the way, if you're a DSO with 12 locations, that's 2.5 a year.
Exactly. You can if you.
I was just talking. Your straight dental assistant course, 10 weeks.
Dentist that wants to do it in this. Okay.
On a Saturday, yeah. Just one.
So what you figured out to be 150,000?
I don't know. You got your calculator handy? So
I do.
Let's call it $3,000. No. You were saying 2,500.
Let's just say 4,000 because that's the average. I think over the
4,000 per student.
You could probably 4,000. I'm at 34.
But what was 2,500? I just want to make sure we get a fairly accurate number here. What was 2,400 or 2,500 for?
Well, the 2,500 is if you're not approved by that place I was telling you. We're just only talking California.
Oh, then let's split the difference. Let's just call it $3,000 a student.
Okay.
Because I think that's a big chunk of change, especially for someone who's thinking about going to dental assisting school. I think that's that's a lot of money.
It is a lot for some people, and it's not very much for some people.
Yeah, it's $3,000 a week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
$300 a week. Yeah. So so I think that's right. So so let's just call it $3,000. Let's call it 3,000, and that's profit. So maybe it's 35.
Yes.
Maybe it's 4. Probably not. But you got to pay for the lunches, pay for the team members. You're going to go through some tools, blah blah blah. Let's just say 3,000 profit per students. Huh?
But instruments, I just have to
Instruments.
correct you.
And we can't
Instruments.
forget about marketing. So you're going to have some cost per acquisition here.
You're right. You're right. Marketing's big.
We can't forget
Okay,
about
so
marketing.
let's say
All right,
3,000.
let's say $200 a person you're making. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Really, don't ever go into this business unless
Depends how you're hiring for the marketing. It's cost per acquisition. No,
Right.
let's just call it even at 2,500 for play it safe. Let's just say hypothetically it's going to cost each office $500 to get each student.
Yeah.
Right, which is not
Yeah.
unheard of, depending on how you're doing this AdWords or whatever. Right. Okay.
Right.
So okay, so let's say 20. What's 25? So this is $125,000.
Well, 2,500 times 50
50
students, right?
125,000.
Oh yeah, 125,000. Yeah, you put it in your head.
So that's great revenue, and especially on a Saturday when like the owner of the practice never even has to deal with it.
That's the key. The dentist doesn't have to like even know you're there. They're out playing golf. They don't, as long as they trust the person that's running it. Yeah, obviously they have to do that. But the dentist seriously does not have to. I mean, I've worked in dental offices and like, oh, you were in there. Oh, hi. Oh, I mean, never talk to him, never see.
Why don't we just start our own like new virtual course and do this all online and charge less and just scale it up together?
Yes, we can.
Why would they have to be at the office? Why can't they just do it like online?
The lectures don't have to be, they can be virtual like this, but the clinical, you do need the eye-hand coordination. They need to, like, we're going to
Oculus Rift. We'll do it with VR.
What's that?
Virtual
Let's do
reality.
That. What is it? What?
Virtual reality. You put the goggles on, you say, tooth number 14, put it here, and everyone's taking the class with the goggles on from home.
Well, wait, but can they can actually, okay, let's say we're putting a syringe together.
Yeah.
They need to know they need to practice it because they get it all wrong at first.
Yeah.
So they could do that with the goggles on?
That's a good question. Let me call Zuckerberg real quick and ask him. It's so good. Listen, realistically, we're going to be at the office. I still love it. I like it a lot. Plus, there's a lot of value. Like, you can't put a price on having great team members. That's like, there's no dollar amount there. So I think it's an amazing opportunity, not only to make some extra revenue. And by the way, this is just one course on a Saturday. You work with offices that have multiple courses in multiple locations.
Yeah.
And you were saying 350 or something they were making?
Yeah, some offices, because they have it, and I've researched like what's the potential I can make here, and how do I get it? And it's a dental office, and you can go on their website and find it.
Yeah.
And it was like 350 they made. And then I was talking to a friend of mine that says she's going to sell, if she sells she'll sell it for like 4 million. Okay, that's unheard of, but
for dental practice?
Not her dental practice, her dental assisting school.
Well, how much what's she making a year in revenue at the dental system?
Well, like over $1 million a year.
Where is it? You don't have to tell us. But there's a 4 times multiple on an acquisition for a dental assisting school?
Yeah, but this is a different it's not in a dental office. So that's
teacher Einstein. Dr. Einstein. He wrote the career.
I do kind of believe her, but
if there's a 4X, we're going into business together on this thing. I love it.
Well, there's also, I mean, if you want to do it,
1X on dental offices.
Oh, what? Really?
I know. I was shocked too. I think, or maybe 1.5, but it's not like a enterprise level software company, right? Which is understandable, right? So it's still good, right? It's better than some industries, but this is why I think doing this virtually along with in the office would be really interesting.
So that will allow you, if you do it virtually, like the lectures, and then they come in just for clinical, now you've cut your time in half that you have to pay an instructor, and they just have to, do the skills together. Yeah. So the American Heart Association makes you do that too. As far as CPR, you have to have the skills in person. There's still a lot of stuff. I mean, I have an online program, and it's a more in-depth program, but they just need the hands-on. And a lot of people that are coming to that learn better hands-on. So
you were the best at this. I think the dental assisting program for an office is a great value add. I mean, it's awesome for A, to employ more people or give more opportunity for new careers to people in the community. I
Yeah.
think for an office listening that's thinking about this, it's so worth exploring. And if someone's interested in talking to the Konni and having you be their consultant to deal with the regulations, come up with the curriculum, train their office, make sure the supplies are okay,
Right.
go over
Right.
cost structure.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked marketing, which
Right.
that's a whole different podcast or interview, because there's so much you got to do with the website and the marketing and all that, which we're helping out some
That's the
offices
key.
now.
That's
the
one
key.
of the keys
Yeah,
to get in there.
Of course. How would people, so people could just reach out to you? Can I give them your email and your phone number?
Yes, you can give my email and my phone number.
Okay.
It's a direct line to me. So yeah.
Okay. Connie's email is Konni at ocdentalacademy.com. It's KONNI at OCDENTALACADEMY.com, right?
Correct.
Phone number 949-933-8890. 949-933-8890. I got to ask you, Konni, how'd you think about doing this? Yeah, I know you started it, what,
2004, I started it. It's evolved through my whole life. Started out as dental assisting in the 78 or something like that. And then
you
went on about
old
5.
When you started dental assisting?
How old were you?
2?
Yes, we brought you in. We taught you how to brush your teeth. We weren't wearing gloves. It's weird. We weren't wearing masks. I mean, the new thing was get a sink in between, operatory sink, then wash your hands. So some people will relate to that. But so, after 5 years, okay, now what do I do? Like, I don't want to go to hygiene because I don't like that. And I wish there was an RDAEF. I would have done that. But then I didn't. Dental school at 25. I'm like, I'm so old. I don't want to go to dental school. So I didn't. And I went into teaching, and then I went into a long-term school. And that's where I think I got the bug to do it my way, because I didn't like how they were doing it. 45 minutes was spent on typing. They said, you can go and, go to our corporate meeting and you have say because we want to listen to you, but they didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to anything. Someday I'm going to do it myself. So
that's great. You did it yourself.
So I did it myself. Fast forwarded, I was married, and then I helped him do his software company. So I got a lot of business and marketing strategies that I understood. And then when we split up, like, okay, now what do I do? So I took my business knowledge and my dental knowledge, and I was really, really glad to get back into the dental field because it was a software company, and they're high tech. Not weird. They're very nice people, but dental people are so much better to work with. I mean, I love it. Like, look at you. You're great to work with.
I got to tell you, I think, Konni, one of the most memorable, fun, hilarious days, nights I've ever had in my entire career in dentistry was when we filmed those commercials together 10 years ago in Orange County. No, I mean, even when I watch those today, I crack out laughing. It was so funny. It was so funny because
I was walking in the background.
I love you. You are just so sweet and so funny and so razor sharp. And you're unbelievable. Like, that filming was so funny, and it actually still kind of that footage like works. Still. It's
still relevant. We
hired a great actress from LA. Remember that the girl who came down? She played the dental assistant. Remember, she couldn't get the lines right. She kept messing up.
Yeah.
I was like, is she messing? Like, it was so funny. Like, it was like 2 words. She said, we got to do it over for like an hour. Like, is she joking with us right now?
And the equipment that you brought in for that thing was like, blew me away. Like, what? Didn't you have a thing that slid?
Oh, that's right. We had the whole dolly track. I forgot about that.
You had the dolly track. You had lighting.
Hey, entertainment. We don't mess around. Come on, God.
Exactly. I know, it was fun.
That's so amazing. 10 years ago, we actually brought the tracks in. We pushed the dolly.
Yeah. Did you bring a van?
We don't do that now. Huh?
You don't do it?
Like Spielberg came down with his crew to film this thing.
It was like, but it really came out good. I liked it. Like I said, it is still relevant.
By the way, the crew in the DP I have now, he's like
Good.
unbelievable. Our team now for video production with PK and David, it's beyond
Really?
ridiculous. I'm telling you, I see this footage they go out and film. A couple weeks ago, I was like, "This is so weird. Like, this looks great, but I don't think we should really like be purchasing high-end stock footage and putting it on a reel." They're like, "Stock footage? Like, we shot all that stuff of the city." I'm like, "They're taking drones out and getting like
Oh my
exterior
gosh.
shots of skylines." I'm like, "Oh my!" It looked like a feature film.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this is unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy.
You have
I don't want to
evolved.
toot our. Well, we really, because we're really like a video first agency. We are. We do like everything else too, you know. But video is
Mhm.
so powerful, and it's so
It
interesting
is.
talking about this because that filming in Orange County 10 years ago, I mean, that was
Still.
so ahead of the curve back then. Doing video for your dental assisting school, you know what I'm saying? Like with
Yeah.
like a professional actor from LA, with
Yeah.
Dolly, and so it's awesome. Like
She had
just
her
thinking about
makeup
that
kit.
because
I
yeah,
remember her makeup kit.
she's wonderful. I mean, this footage
Yeah.
worked great. Like, I think she was just like she had technique as an actor, and she like needed to like get her. She was like literally transformed into a dental assistant. That like, yeah,
Yeah, I know. She
yeah,
looked the
it's like,
part.
yeah, couldn't
Good
couldn't remember
casting.
the lines, but she looked the part. Yeah, yeah,
That's right. But good casting. You got the look. You got, yeah.
yeah. I remember
She's
she was in
probably
that White
famous
Chicken.
now.
Yeah, she's probably like on like in like Scorsese films for all we know. Yeah, yeah. I should
Exactly.
IMDb her. Yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah,
probably is.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's really important. Like you said, video. I always listen to your podcast
Oh,
and I always try to do what you say. Video on the first page. SEO, super important if you want to get, well, back to the dental assistant, if they want to market SEO, face to face is really good getting your word out
I think
to
going to
people.
job fairs and going and posting, reaching, putting listings on Craigslist and Indeed would be great. You could market these things very inexpensively and have a great ROI, I think, with these dental assistant schools because people are looking for it. And it's not like you're
Yeah.
competing against 500 dental assistant schools. You're competing against one or two or
Well,
none.
and
And so
and
it's
you
really,
are,
yeah.
you're right. You're competing. Well, the long term, you don't really compete with the long term either because it's a whole different thing. Some people get bought into, well, like long terms are federally funded, but short terms we can't have federally funding, so we have to come up with other tuition payments. Which finally I got in touch with some. That was, like you said, $3,000 is a lot of money for some people, and we finally have some resources that we can use to help these people to make payments.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I just thought of a great idea.
Great. What is it?
I should totally connect you with Sunbit. By the
Sun?
way, anyone who's listening right now, this is not like one of those organic, let's mention a company plugs, but it's such a good organic mention right now. It's so funny. Like I'm all about like I love podcasts or shows where like they talk about something like, oh my gosh, that's a great app. I'm totally like naturally just mentioning Sunbit right now. Like we work with them, they're an amazing company. So they offer
Sun?
Sunbit, Sunbit. They offer buy now, pay later, and
Oh,
they're
bye
in
now.
1 out of 3 car dealerships in America, but they're growing massively in dental. And
Really?
yeah, it's like the great alternative besides like Care Credit and all these other things for offices. Sunbit is like much higher acceptance rates, better terms, and I forget like there's a like it's amazing, and they're financing over $1 billion a quarter now. Like it's a huge operation. I love them, but I actually think you I think it'd be great for any offices thinking about offering dental assisting programs. If it's by the way, you should charge more. So if it was $3 grand, you're going to charge 4,500 or $5 grand or
Right.
49.95. It'd be like, by the way, you can finance it through Sunbit, and
Yeah.
it costs them a few $100 a month, and they pay it off over time.
Yes.
And so as long as the terms are favorable for that student, that's most important because some of them would maybe be like, all right, I'd rather pay more, a little more over time than I have to cough up $3,500 today, right? And so a
Yes.
great way to get that finance potentially would be Sunbit. Now I'm speaking for them actually, I don't know how this would work because it's not clinical. So you guys would have to reach out to Sunbit because it's not like implants or a
Right.
whitening. It is educational. So I don't know if that falls under their umbrella, but I do believe as long as it's under the dental practice, you would assume it could be financeable. I
So
got to
they
ask
are
them.
doing it with dental.
Yeah, it's huge for
Well,
dental, but I don't know on the terms. Does it have to be a procedure or can it be anything under that umbrella? I don't know. This is great. We should ask them.
we'll ask them, but speaking of that, Care Credit is the one that was specifically set up for your dental, and most dentists are connected with a Care Credit. And I did use Care Credit, and I see some other offices through, I mean, other dental
Oh, so they
schools
do it.
they've used Care Credit, but I just didn't feel great about it
I
because
don't think that's legit. Care credit's like totally just clinical.
it is. I didn't feel good about it, so I
No,
stopped
no.
doing that because
Sunbit
it's
might be different, and you guys, anyone listening, I'm not sure they would do it. I'll reach out to them. They're an amazing company. And by the way, if they don't do it for dental assisting, explore them for clinical because it is
okay.
amazing, and
Well,
especially a
I
lot
don't
of
have a dental
offices that
office.
listen to these shows. I know, but
Yeah,
anyone
that's
listening, like a lot of
yeah.
people are getting away from insurance and just fee for service. And so, if you
Oh,
have an option for buy now, pay later, it's really great for case acceptance. Yeah.
that is good. Better than Care Credit. So I've had some offices, some other companies. Hey, we're just as good as Care Credit, but there are some players now, and if you want to know like who they're specifically doing short-term dental assisting, they're
That's awesome.
financing for that.
All right. Well,
So
if you
I've
email me those, we can put them on the show notes. Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
Great. All right. Great.
Yeah, they specifically do that. So I was going to say, I'll give you the once if you want to get into a
Yeah,
school, then I can.
you could send. And by the way, anyone listening who's interested in those financial options, just reach out to Konni. Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
and
I
I'll
am
get.
going to give a shameless plug for an amazing sponsor right now, NEXA, and
Mm,
they are amazing. And so anyone listening, NEXA does their 24/7 answering service. So, a lot of missed calls, missed opportunities in the evenings or weekends when you're closed or late hours. And statistics show that 35% of people that call an office or any business and get an answer machine never call back. And so I find it crazy. I call offices or clients and they don't answer. And so we highly recommend having a really skilled answering service. Nexa is amazing. And that's our sponsor. Click the link below to do a demo with Nexa, and big thanks to them.
can I
Konni,
ask you a
thank
question
you.
about them? Well,
Yeah.
wait, can I ask you a question about NEXA? Do they answer the phone within the first? Like they get
It's like within the
up?
first two rings.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like right away.
that's killer.
Yeah, I
Like
know, and it's like perfect, and they're like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, it's very impressive.
okay, sorry, I just had to do that. Sorry, we probably have
No,
to
it's
go
good.
now, right?
No, I mean, you got anything else?
Let me see if there's any other notes. Yeah, yeah, we have that financing that came up. That's really helped us a lot. Just make sure you trends you wanted to hear like about maybe trends that I'm
No, I
excited
wasn't
about.
talking about trends in dentistry, but I do think. Do you have a favorite trend that you wanted to mention?
The iTero scanner, the
Yeah, that's awesome.
iSolite, digital x-rays. I know digital x-rays have been around since the 90s, but
Right.
still, that's game changer.
Yeah, great.
Isolite with the
Yeah.
light, like who's not using that? And then the iTero scanner, because we just recently got a doctor called our office. We want somebody because we want them to just specifically learn to use the scanners for the impressions. So that's going to be as good as digital x-rays. That's my
Beautiful.
opinion.
Love the trends. Konni, thank you for sharing your passion, your wisdom, and your time with all of us.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
Big huggies.
I won't.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of the Dental Times Plus Spotlight interview series. Enjoy all the features on the Dental Times app. And if you like the app, please remember to rate and review us in the App Store. That really helps us get found by other members of the dental community. Thanks again, Konni, and everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.